The Lebanese government is selling unused fighter jets and helicopters and will be using the money as part of its 5-year plan to enhance its national security. Earlier, I spoke with Defense News' Middle East correspondent Agnes Al Helou, who spoke to the top Lebanese Air Force officer. Agnes, welcome back.
Thank you.
The Lebanese government is doing something interesting. They're selling Hawker Hunter fighter jets and Sikorsky S-61 helicopters. Why is that?
Well, May 11 will mark the first public bidding ever done by the Lebanese Air Force, and it will then sell 8 aircraft, 5 Hawker Hunter fighter jets that are the only fighter jets the Lebanese Air Force has, keeping only 2 in the inventory, and 3 Sikorsky S-61. The Sikorsky S-61 are used for firefighting missions. So this public bidding is after a decree by the Council of Ministers, and it will take place on May 11, as we said.
So why exactly is Lebanon getting rid of those aircraft?
These 8 aircrafts have been non-operational since 2010, and Lebanon is trying to sell them in order to reallocate its resources. First, we have known as Defense News from our sources that there are until now 3 interesting companies in the Hawker Hunter fighter jets, one of which is British, the Hawker Hunter Aviation, and 2 are US-based companies. We have the Airborne Tactical Advantage Company, which is a Textron subsidiary, and also we have Lorty Aviation. So these companies want to get these aircrafts in order to refurbish them and use them as adversaries in their trainings. And Lebanon is doing this public bidding as a part of a huge restructuring plan. This is not only a step to be taken. It is a part of a huge restructuring plan whereby Lebanon has a 5-year plan to reorganize its fleets, its air fleets, from the training fleets to the firefighting missions and even the light attack aircraft.
And Agnes, as I understand, this is part of a large comprehensive restructuring plan?
Yeah, exactly. The Defense News spoken with the commander of the Lebanese Air Force, Brig General Ziad Haikal, who told us that this is a part of a huge restructure plan whereby the Air Force intends to double the number of its light attack aircraft, A-29 Super Tucanos from 6 to 12, and MD-530 helicopters, whereby the Air Force will receive the 6 by the end of 2021. And also the Scan Eagle drones for surveillance and reconnaissance. Also, the Air Force, for a second step, will move forward to protect the airspace. I know this is not very feasible with the economic crisis Lebanon has today. However, for future, the Air Force intends to have radar networks in order to protect its airspace, as well as missile defense systems. And later on, we'll move to the last step, which is fighter jets.
So what is the Air Force looking to replace these specific aircraft with that they're selling?
First, we have to point out that even after the Air Force sells the Sikorsky S-61 that used to do the firefighting, it will not forsake firefighting missions. It will do this using the Huey-2, UH-1 Huey-2 helicopter and the AB-212, the refurbished helicopter, refurbished by the Air Force itself. And then after this, after the sales goes on, the Air Force intends to buy, instead of the Sikorsky S-61, it eyes the air tractor AT-802 with similar aircraft having its capability in firefighting missions, especially noting that these aircraft came to Lebanon from Cyprus to help the Air Force with the firefighting missions last year and the year before. From one side. From the other side, the Hawker Hunters, the Air Force is planning to replace them with initial entry trainers, so that they were eyeing earlier the Super Mushak, the Pakistani Super Mushak. However, they did not get any responses from the Pakistani authorities. Hence, they might move to get Cessna or Cirrus aircraft.
So the Lebanese Air Force is getting rid of its only fighter jets that it has. How is it going to accomplish its missions without fighter jets?
Honestly, those fighter jets have been non-operational since a long time. So they don't already have fighter jets. However, the Lebanese Air Force uses the A-29 light attack aircraft, Super Tucano, and noting that Lebanon's area is 10,452 kilometers square, which is a very small area, the light attack aircraft will do efficiently, will do the missions efficiently, especially noting that the Lebanese Air Force is the first Air Force ever that had integrated the APKWS, which are the guided munitions, into the Super Tucanos, which are the light attack aircraft. So they can be using them efficiently. That's why they are targeting to increase the number, or maybe double it in particular, from one side.
And what does this mean for U.S. military aid that Lebanon relies on?
The U.S. military aid play a very crucial role in the Lebanese armed forces, especially in the armament, noting that 30 to 40% of the military aids annually go to the air forces in particular. And part of the U.S. military aid are the APKWS, are the Super Tucanos, and many other systems the Air Force has. So they are really crucial.
Agnes, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you for having me.
And in U.S. Army news, the service is embarking on a competitive prototyping effort to acquire a new all-terrain vehicle that can operate in the Arctic, with evaluations to take place in Alaska this year. The service awarded contracts to 2 vendor teams. One team of American firm Oshkosh Defense in the Land Systems Division of Singapore's ST Engineering, and a second team of 2 BAE system units, Land and Armaments, as well as BAE Hägglunds. They'll provide prototypes for a cold weather all-terrain vehicle, or a CATV, in the second quarter of fiscal 2021. The service also needs modern and capable equipment as the Arctic region becomes increasingly important for military operations. The Army released its Arctic strategy last month, which stresses the need to modernize and ramp up presence as Russia and China continue to assert dominance in the region to pursue their economic and geopolitical goals. And that's it for this week in the defense industry. When we come back, personal finance expert Jeanette Mack will give parents tips on how to financially prepare their kids to go to college.